I'm here to welcome you all to a very important occasion, the release of a publication that Rashmi has been working very hard on for the last few months to try and get ready for this particular event. This event forms part of a series of conversations that we're having across the country around a range of development issues. And at all of these events, what we're trying to do is to try to get the voice of community into the discussion space around policy and around some of the practice in the country. So we're very pleased to have community members here today, and you're most welcome to have as much to say as you want to during the course of the evening. So who is Oxfam and why are we talking about low carbon development? Oxfam's work in this area goes back a long way. In fact, the first paper we published on climate change, we claim, was done in 1983, when the word climate change hadn't been even put forward in the house of words. And that was after numbers of farmers all over Africa and in other parts of the world were reporting that there were changes in the weather that they and their ancestors had not seen before. So really a response to some anecdotal evidence that something was happening, something dramatic was shifting and altering people's ability to live in their traditional ways and to get some livelihood from the land. So the work goes back a long, long way. But what's always been very evident, and what continues to be the case, is that climate change has impacted and will impact on the poorest people in the world the hardest. In a lot of ways, it's poor communities that are bearing the brunt of what has been a failure on the part of most of us living in the developed world to curb our consumption and to change the patterns of living and to live in the world in a more sustainable way. So there's been an increasing demand and a continued demand for us to take action to reduce runaway climate change, particularly to reduce our carbon footprints and to change the way we consume and live in the world. So Oxfam traditionally has been interested in issues of poverty and hunger, as you well know, those of you who've been in contact with the organization before. And it's no great leap from issues of poverty and hunger to climate change. Climate change will fundamentally change people's ability, will have an impact on people's ability to feed themselves and to live in the places that they grew up in and to be able to earn a living off the land that they live and work on. So Oxfam's response is almost automatic, given that we have been working in the adaptation space for a very, very long time. Not always called adaptation, not always called climate change work, but I think there is long experience of working in communities all over the world to help respond to those shifts in the natural environment. And so our panel tonight will make some input into that discussion, and hopefully you will as well. So my last bit of business is to introduce Nancy Richards. Nancy will be our facilitator for the evening. Nancy's a print and radio journalist. Most of you would have heard her on SAFCEI, I think, discussing green issues. And she's also a speaker trying to raise consciousness around these issues and to try to get people to engage with them in a more direct way. So she writes for a number of publications and on a variety of subjects, including health, environment, travel, women and lifestyle. And she's a founder member of Women's Zone, an initiative bringing the women